on CW11.
Well, welcome to Home Track Heroes here on a beautiful Sunday. My name is Caleb Hart. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. It is week number 2 of our Summer Showdown series. And tonight, 150 laps for the super late models. The Summer Showdown is on the card. Chad, we've got a great program here today. 3 classes to get to before the late models come up. I am really excited for this one.
Me too. We got, legends, late models, street stocks, and trucks. What can we ask?
I think we've got a banger of a program coming up here. It's the first appearance of the year for the Pro 4 trucks. The INEX Legends, who were on the card last week with a great feature that changed hands a couple of times over the last couple of laps. And, well, the street stocks always got something up their sleeves that's going to surprise us. So, without any further ado, here on KSTW, let's get this thing up and started. Pro 4 trucks are on the track. Shane Green, the 8 truck, and the 55 of Jerry Buell right next to him, making up row number 1.
Number 4 is Pete Brady. Outside of Pete, car number 7 is Matt Green.
Third row, 6, Aaron Green. 35 of Haley Wilkinson make up those 2 trucks.
The 17 of Mike Wiley and the 37 of Scott Bodine.
And then it is McKenna Cox in the 24 truck, 26 of Cody Cooey.
And the 18 of Steve Here and the 9 of Greg Vaughn.
So 12 trucks, 30 times around is what we understand they're being scheduled for. First appearance of the trucks here in 2023. They're always a good time. Now, if you want to play the at-home game here on the trucks, as you're sitting there talking with your family, talking whoever you're with, all you got to do is get like a cup or a jar or something, sit it out in the middle of the table as you're watching on, and find yourself $1 for every time that you call it a car.
So I'm already down $1.
You might be down $1 already on Chad's end. That's all right. We're only going to keep a little bit of track. You are getting in truck camera from Haley Wilkinson, Greg Vaughn, McKenna Cox. Vaughn and Cox buried kind of deep in this field. We'll watch those two trying to make their way through as we are green and underway with the Pro 4 truck main event.
As Shane Green will grab the lead going through turn number 1 and 2, Jerry Buell hanging on to that second spot as they're still trying to decide who's going to run into that third spot into turn 3.
Trucks are an interesting class here at Evergreen Speedway. All of the power of the 4-cylinder motors, and they are built 4-cylinder engines here. However, weight distribution on these things is very interesting. You've got these long, extended, weightless truck beds over the back of them, and it makes for handling, especially through mid-corner, to be kind of a trick.
Yeah, they definitely tend to be on the loose side more than the push side. I've never driven one, but just from visually you could see they're definitely a little bit loose.
Secondarily to that is you got a good battle going on up front early here between Green and the 4 of Brady, is that these trucks are all almost self-fabricated bodies. You have got to take either an existing body and cut it down or get really creative with sheet metal coming on these things. So there's a lot of work putting these really bad race trucks in and together as we got a good battle for the lead out in front early here.
Yeah, Shane Green hanging on for dear life for the lead, but here comes the 6 of Aaron Green to the inside of Pete Brady. Pete Brady we see a lot in Victory Lane here at Evergreen Speedway as the 17 almost getting in the back of Pete Brady. That was Mike Wiley. Still a 4-car battle for the lead.
Wiley, one of those grizzled veterans in the truck division, call him the Wiley Coyote. He does have a win here as, we've got a couple of trucks together and around. It is Haley Wilkinson's 35 and Jerry Buell's 55 involved in the accident. Let's take a second look from our Home Track Heroes cameras and find out what happened from Haley's end. Into the corner we go, and
little help.
Thump right into the left rear corner of Buell. So take a look at that, where we are back in studio, and a couple of laps in. Trucks will sort themselves back out. We'll get a restart here on Home Track Heroes for the Pro 4 truck main event. And they go 2x2 around, so 4 laps in and 26 to go. It'll be green versus green here on the front row.
Yeah, so we'll 4 laps into this, so we have a lot of time left, and we are green as Shane Green still grabbing the lead going through 1 and 2 as I guess that was the 8 of Shane Green, now the 7 or the 6 of Aaron Green side by side greens as they go into turn number 3.
I was talking to the Green boys, and they kind of enjoy that single number, similar paint, although different colors, kind of scheme that makes it hard to remember them and try to keep track of them. They do that on purpose just to drive us nuts.
Well, it's working.
It is. By the way, 5 laps in and $2 down now?
I think 3.
Wow.
Everyone's gonna be rich by the time this race is over.
All that money you made the Central Welding 125, so it's gonna
It'll be gone.
It's gonna be thrown in the jar here. Fortunately, I forgot to bring the jar. It's a good side-by-side battle here between the 8 and the 6 truck, and you can see even though they're trucks built out of the same camp, there is some pretty drastic differences. Just look at the width difference of the 8 and the 6. They come down the front straightaway off this beautiful corner 4 shot that we have.
So the Green family originally came from the Friday night WWRA, and I believe the car the truck in the lead is one of their Friday night trucks.
Oh.
Another time.
There's
and the 6 truck is a newer truck, I believe.
That's $2 in the same straightaway. That's brutal. The good old Western Washington Racing Association callback there back when they had their Friday night program that ran here around Evergreen Speedway. That was a lot of fun. You saw a lot of drivers back then that are still active today, as it looks like. Aaron Green on the outside in the 6 truck has picked up the lead, and look at that, 2x2 racing going back a couple of rows worth.
Yeah, this is some great racing. You know, the side-by-side battle between those 2 trucks have definitely stalled the field as we got the 35 and the 55 together. That's twice now.
Oh, magnets on those 2. Wilkinson's 35, kind of with the old school Richard Petty looking paint scheme on it. And, well, Haley, and there's your turnabout as fair play, maybe, between Haley and the 55 truck. All right, so we'll stack them back up. Got another 3-4 laps of racing in there. But, yeah, they were doubled up, and they inside, outside. You saw a lot of really good handling machines there.
Yeah, great racing. When that happens, there's absolutely really nowhere to go, so you just kind of try to maneuver through traffic at that point as we have 9 down, 21 to go. Greens are up front still. And slowly to the green, and we are back in racing.
So keep your eyes on the 3rd row. The 2 trucks back there. McKenna Cox is 24. She's been a winner here. Cody Cooey, very, very fast operation on the inside as well. I'm looking forward to seeing him moving forward as he is down on the bottom of this racetrack, and he is slipping his way all the way up to 4th now.
Yeah, definitely. He is the man on the move right now. I believe that's a former truck championship car from last year. I think that's Brooklyn Bender's old truck.
That would make some sense.
Yeah, and he's moving into 2nd right now. He is definitely on the move.
That restart was huge for him to kind of get clear of the pack that was in there and holding him up, and now all over the back of Green, and he's got a bid for the lead.
We got a fire.
Wow, okay, so the 7 truck of Matt Green around and lit her up there in the 4th turn as that happened.
And the 35 of Wilkinson and the 55 of Buell back together.
Wow, those 2, I don't know if they're going to be exchanging Christmas cards anymore here. As there's a look from Wilkinson, and Wilkinson just kind of tapped Green a bit. Around she goes, and down into the grass. And let's get a second look here at the flame on moment for Matt Green.
And there goes the motor.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, big time.
Smoked it up big time and then over into the corner. And I wonder if the motor was going to begin with.
He started slowing down dramatically, so I'm guessing that's probably what happened.
Knock a line off or something like that. Fluid gets hot, ignites, and that's where the big fireball comes from.
And it might not have even blown up. It could have been just that, like what you said.
Which is a perfect case scenario because these guys do not want to go through and spend the thousands of dollars to rebuild their engines when that happens. Just rebuild a line and do that. You're 100 into it, and you're in a lot happier camper.
Yep, and a lot of brake clean going into that. As we are back to Green, as the 6 of Aaron Green and the 26 of Cody Cooey to the point.
Back to action we go. Cooey now with a fresh run around the outside. He had just started ducking inside of Green, coming off that corner and bidding for the lead on the last time by when we upped the caution. This field is thinning out just a little bit. New race leader, it's going to be Cody Cooey as he makes the bid into turn number 1, and the 26 truck has got the lead of the line.
Yeah, and a great run through 1 and 2. He's going to have a good run coming off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. He just by a nose with the lead. Can't come down yet. His spotter better be telling him inside. And now you're clear.
Yeah, clear by a margin at this point in time as he built an entire truck length going into turn number 1. So now it's Cooey, Green, and Bodine and the 37 truck with Cox chasing him. 2, 3, 4, and 5 with the 4 of Brady all kind of stacked in a line.
Yeah, and the 6 car of Aaron, or 6 truck. Wow, we're going to have to, up to $7 at this point, as he is doing a great job holding on to that 2nd spot. Bodine, I'm not very familiar with that name, but doing a great job running in that 3rd spot.
Yeah, having an absolutely fantastic race. Not a guy that I have any background information on as well, as he kind of sneaks the truck to the outside of the 6 of Green, looking into turn number 1. Couldn't make the pass there, but watch him close up the gap between the 2 of them, and let's see if he sneaks high or low coming into these turns.
At this point, I think he's just watching and learning from what the 6 of Aaron Green is doing, just kind of seeing if he's going to go high or low. And now Bodine will look to the inside, and that spot is his, side by side, truck to truck, coming through turn number 2.
You know, turn 1 seems to be the action corner here for these trucks. You don't see a ton coming off of 3 and 4. It looks like they're using 3 and 4 to really set up the pass in 1 and 2, as you've got more action in behind them. As looking forward, there's the 4 of Brady, and he is having to hold off a bid from, is that the 7 of Matt Green? No, that's the one that went out earlier. That's 6 of Aaron Green once again, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like Aaron Green having a little bit of an issue with his truck. He went from first to, I believe, now 5th in the last 5 laps. Maybe he just has a good short-run car and maybe not a good long-run car.
Short-run truck.
Yeah, truck.
$8. You're going to have to go to BECU
I'm
and take
gonna
out
have
a loan
to.
at this point in time. As down the back straightaway they go. That's McKenna Cox in the black, white, and yellow 24 truck trying to work her way up to Bodine. McKenna swings out wide in the front straightaway, part of a racing family we've talked a lot about here on Home Track Heroes, as Dad Steve is one of the great figure eighters of our time, and Brother Dawson's had quite the successful Pro Late model career.
And her grandpa also used to run out here as well. One of the original, I believe one of the original super stock drivers out here as well. So a lot of family history with the Cox family, and I believe she has quite a few wins out here as well.
McKenna has been a terror in that truck since the time she jumped into it. Very, very fast operation. They have been battling some mechanical gremlins on the motor side of things, electrical amongst others, and looks like they're finally getting her all sorted out as we're down to 9 laps to go. She's still chasing Bodine. Bodine, again, not a driver we know a ton about, but he's having a really good run here in a what we believe to be Evergreen Speedway truck debut. Yeah,
doing a fantastic job. As McKenna looked to the inside through 3 and 4, not enough power off of 4 to get underneath. I've noticed the 37 has a way better corner through 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4.
Yeah, you see that, and you see that he actually spreads out, has more momentum coming off the turn than McKenna does. McKenna way better, especially a corner exit off the 4th turn. And that may just be a point of where he's picking up the throttle, where he's not. Again, these trucks are an interesting way to handle because, again, they're so light in the back end that throttle pickup's going to be a massive thing for them.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's definitely interesting to watch these trucks drive in the rain as well.
Yeah, we've seen some interesting shows from them on rain races. As last year, Home Track Heroes, we had some interesting, if not like significantly slow main events, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All the drivers got really conservative, and we had side by side for 15, 20 straight laps in the wet weather. Today, don't think that Mother Nature is going to bother us all that much.
And Boudin still doing a great job in second. Like I said, don't know the history. This may be his first race. This may be his thousandth race in this truck.
You look at it, too, the way he's adapted here to Evergreen Speedway. He can't be a raw rookie. There's no way.
Yeah.
Nobody comes out and has these corners figured out that quickly, despite the fact that, you get some practice in a heat race during the day. But he's just looked smooth. Now, this time he opens up the bottom, coming off of 2. Cox is up to the quarter panel. Is she going to make the move? She's not quite to the door numbers yet, but she will be off the corner. So Bodine might have slipped up at the wrong time. Here's McKenna diving to the bottom in turns 1 and 2, looking to make the pass for second place.
Still can't quite make it happen. Boudin's car really good on the outside coming off of turn 2. As going through 3 and 4, those bumps make it a little bit harder for McKenna to get through 3 and 4.
Here comes Brady in the 4 truck trying to sneak into that battle, so we've only got a couple of laps to go, and Cooey is absolutely checked out and gone. What a great corner that was from Bodine, as he is right back up to that second position, and he got the door closed on Cox.
Yeah, I think he figured out that through 1 and 2, if you go up a little higher, his truck will be a lot faster, as we got one more lap to go, and a big block to McKenna.
Wow, with the barriers on the inside, that's significantly more dangerous than on a normal race, as those barriers make it so, okay, if I get too far inside where normally those barriers aren't there, you're driving right through them and just making a real sharp corner. Now you're smashing them and in trouble.
Yep.
Cooey's going to get the win. Give second to Bodine. Nice run. McKenna Cox is going to end up taking third.
You had a good run there in the number 24 machine, chasing down the 37. What more do you think you needed to get around him?
Honestly, maybe just more aggression. I don't know. Maybe next time, I guess.
Now, Evergreen Speedway only has 2 dates here for your tour this year. How do you feel about this racetrack, especially only coming here twice now?
This is honestly my favorite racetrack. I love it. It's my home track.
And who would you like to thank for the third place finish tonight?
Northwest Spoiler, John Bender, JBR Racing, Cox Wheels Racing, my brother, my dad, Tommy, my spotter, my boyfriend Tyson, Flynn, Carpet Sense, and I'm probably forgetting a lot of people, but that's all I can think of right now.
Driver the number 24, third place tonight, McKenna Cox. You had a great number 37 truck. You were battling up front throughout the night. Watching that number 26 get by you, what did you feel you could have done to possibly hang on to that lead?
Well, we've been working on this truck all season, and right now I think if we just had the brake balance, we've got too much front in it and we can't get any rear. I could have held the bottom and been in the gas more. Yeah.
Second question, same as what I asked McKenna. Come here 2 times a year now. How do you feel about Evergreen Speedway in the 3/8 oval?
I haven't raced this 3/8 oval for probably 8 years with my Super 4s. I mean, took some getting used to again, but I like the track. It's good.
And who would you like to thank for putting that 37 truck together?
Terry Warren, Joe's Place Farm, and BRW Racing Works.
Driver the number 37, Scott Bodine. A big stage to come with the win on here on Summer Showdown night, taking that 26K truck all the way to the front. You had a dominant machine. What's secret to running this 3/8 oval in that truck?
I guess you just got to find a good setup and a good crew. I don't know what I could have done without my Uncle Robbie, my brother, Doug Bennett, my dad for spotting, National Indoor RV Centers, Paul for coming up from Vegas, and JJ Cooey Trucking, Truck Parts Northwest, Carshood Trucking, Machias Materials, Doug Gearhart Trucking. And I don't know what I could have done. Mom for lunch.
Guess one more question, Cody. How hot is it in that truck right now?
Well, engine temps were 230, so it's like an oven in there.
Driver the number 26K, Cody Cooey, your race winner tonight for the Pro 4 trucks.
Welcome back here to Home Track Heroes on KSTW. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. We move on. Trucks are done. We go to the INEX Legends for their 30-lapper here at the Summer Showdown, presented by Tire Pros. It's night number 2 of the showdown. Night number 1, a reminder, Peyton Saxton got the win over Gabe Sessler. It was a heck of a race. Your lineup for night number 2 looks like this. Samantha Schwartz on the pole, the 40, sponsored by Sharps Transportation. And John Zaretsky next to her. The 51Z is sponsored by McMullen Construction.
The 11M of Rick McNeil, sponsored by Optimus Construction. And the 30B of Braden Weiger, sponsored by Dirt Cheap Sewer.
Car number 3 is Jake Bowman. Car number 2, he's in the 5th starting spot. 6th will be Chris Belanca, the 42 car, sponsored by Belanca Homes.
And the 43 at Dylan Wolf, sponsored by EZ Street Auto Repair. And the 33 at Kyle Lang, sponsored by Phillip Law Firm.
Row number 5 is the 1-2 from night number 1, Peyton Saxton in the 29, and Gabe Sessler in the 66, sponsored by Mazda of Everett.
The 11 at Trace Thompson, and the 69 at Andrew Reel.
Behind them, Jacob Hayter is in the 27. Next to him, Steve Potasic once again in a legend car, the 30, driving for the Holdens in the Weatherite Roofing sponsored machine.
The 88X of Cody Brown, and the 13 of Jeremiah Johnson.
Chad Sinner, the Mazda of Everett 11C. Next to him, 68, Kaylee Decker, sponsored by Joe's Tree and Timber.
The 09 of Cole Alton, sponsored by Straight Alignment, and the 42A of Piper Alton, sponsored by Straight Alignment as well.
Garrett Archer's 5, Mason Nelson's 37, sponsored by TriMed.
And the 59 of Josh Wharton, and the 98 of Aaron Flood, sponsored by Kent Collision Repair, and we are green.
It is a huge field. Pick your favorite and root them on. As you can already see them 3 wide all over the place from the Kyle Lang in-car camera. There's chaos in front of him from Belanca. He is trapped on the inside pretty significantly here.
And probably right now the safest person in the field is the 51 is John Zaretsky. He'll lead lap number 1 with 29 to go, as we had 39 legends here this weekend.
Oh, man.
What a great field.
Absolutely. And they had a fantastic night 1 of racing. Night number 2, Zaretsky, Bowman, and it looks like Wolf has just taken 3rd over from Schwartz, although Schwartz chanced to get her back as Wolf kind of backed the car up in the corner. Picks it back up, gets back on his horse. So it's Zaretsky, Bowman and Wolf 1 through 3 with some fast cars coming.
Yeah, Braden Wager looks to the outside of the 40th Samantha Schwartz. I believe he won a couple weeks ago. Looking to gain a little bit more positions there. Just 3 more to go, or 4 more, I should say, as Zaretsky still your leader.
Zaretsky pacing. Right behind him is Bowman in the 2, and yeah, he is right on him. He's got a good look to the inside. Meanwhile, you see the outside lane moving a couple of rows back between Wager, Lang, and Sessler. All 3 of them kind of upper middle making it work around. Battle for the lead, though. Zaretsky's got his hands full. Bowman's all over him early.
Yeah, Bowman chasing down the 51 of Zaretsky. I believe that is a Tanner Bennett legend card that we normally see out here. As Sessler moving through the field as well, looking to the outside of the 40th Samantha Schwartz. That outside row's a fast one right now.
It is. Saxton kind of got trapped on the inside, and he's quickly made an adjustment to the outside lane, and he's going to chase Sessler down. Meanwhile, Bowman's got the run on Zaretsky to the inside. We might have a new race leader off the second turn.
Yeah, side by side as they come through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway, and new race leader will be Bowman, as 51 is Zaretsky. Gave him a little bit of a love tap, trying to get back down to the inside, and can't quite make it happen, as somebody getting the black flag there. I believe that might be Bowman.
So Bowman is up in front here, side by side with Zaretsky. Zaretsky to the inside, trying to get the lead back. Wolf in the 3rd position, and Dylan Wolf's had some good appearances here at Evergreen Speedway. And there, once again, it gets real tight through the middle of the corner. Take a look. Flagger not pointing at anybody this time by, so maybe it was just a, hey, you naughty, knock it off.
Yeah.
Happens every once in a while. Top 5's changing. Wager is up to 4th. Sessler up to 5th. And let's watch and see if Saxton in the red 29 can circle his way up and around Kyle Lang. He has got a nice run, and we have got a parking lot for a second there in the middle of turn number 2.
Oh, scary incident for Ricky McNeil. Sitting right where the whole field is coming at him. We'll watch and see what happens here.
Normally McNeil, I think Trace Thompson in that car right now. Oh, no, it is McNeil. There's 3 different 11s in the field. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So let's take a look and see what happened. Into the turn they go, and McNeil was way high up on the racetrack to have spun down like that. Let's see.
Just got off the backstretch there. Great heads-up driving by Cole Alton and Wharton as well.
Wow.
That was very close.
Yeah.
That could have been really bad.
Look how many lanes that he occupied as he was coming up. Like he had started high, started spinning, spun into the middle, rolled up, rolled back down. A lot of opportunity for guys to junk their stuff, and none of them did. That's good.
Yeah, and your new leader will be Zaretsky, as Bowman did get the black flag, and he is out of the race at this point.
All right, so Bowman goes bye-bye. Here is Zaretsky, your new leader, with Wolf 2nd. And here on the restart, it's going to be Wager 3rd as they charge through the corner. This segment brought to you by the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. They now have sports betting. Who would you bet on here in this race? Think you can pick a winner? Prove it at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle, exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington. And, sir?
We lost a hood.
Sir, you can't leave your hood there. That's not going to work. Let's watch it again. Into the corner with the 59. Goodbye. Josh Wharton, hood check, aisle 2.
We have debris in turn 1.
We have a little bit of it, so we'll pick that up. We'll give it back to Josh at some point in time, and he can have his hood rather than have to buy a new one. But side by side for another restart coming up.
Zaretsky and Wolf, this will be very interesting to see as we have some different people in different spots. We'll see if that outside groove is going to be the fast one here on this restart, and we will go back to green.
A lot of it depends on that front row, right? If you're stacked up and behind them, if one of them has a good start, the other doesn't, they can have a 5-6 row adjustment depending on the field, right?
And looks like right now, and we got another hood flying off.
Wait.
I believe that's off of the 69er reel. We'll see if we stay green, and I believe, yep, we will go yellow.
So what in the world here? Did
They
you guys,
invented hood pins for a reason.
did we forget the hood pin check? Yeah. What in the world? Yeah, right. So Andrew Reel goes, I don't need no hood. It's too heavy. Why not? Just let her fly on off. Yeah. Let's check it again if you didn't see that happen in real time. To the replay. Watch, I don't know, mid-pack-ish. Into the corner, little arrow under it, and whoop, bye-bye. All right.
I hope it didn't, for their sake, didn't get ran over, because that's probably a very expensive part to replace.
Like, aluminum's cheap, right?
Yeah.
These are, actually, I've never really been up this far up close to the Legend. They are an aluminum body, are they
I
not?
believe that part might be, I honestly couldn't say either way.
If it's glass, it's probably breaking on impact, depending on the quality of the glass. So either it's aluminum and you're okay, it's cheap if it gets run over, or it's glass and you're already hosed.
Yeah, we are back underway as that outside groove working very well for Sessler as he will try to grab that second spot from the 51 of John Zaretsky.
Yeah, there he's just up there kind of forcing Wolf forward. You saw him almost up to the point where he was tapping him to try to get him to go through. Dylan, I can't go any further than you go. Go, go. And there he's going to try sneaking down to the bottom.
Yeah, what a power move from the outside to the inside. Great run by the 66 of Gabe Sessler, sponsored by Mazda of Everett. And maybe looking to the inside of Zaretsky there, and Zaretsky closed the door on him going through turn number 1.
Well, he's running motivated tonight. He felt like he kind of gave one away to Saxton on the last race on night number 1. Also, he's changed spotters tonight. He's got Haley Constant spotting
Oh,
for him.
nice.
So a little difference on that one. Had her brother spotting for him night number 1. And I don't know, maybe it's the power of Haley motivating him forward.
Let's say that, yes.
All right, good enough. So he's right in behind Zaretsky. He's less than a car length behind him. Meanwhile, third place has changed hands as well. That looks like Wager's made his way down there to take the spot.
Yeah, so he's in that final podium spot. Wager's hoping the 51 and the 66 will stay side by side to slow them both down so he can maybe have a chance of getting up to them, as we got a new leader possibly as Sessler looks to the inside of Zaretsky, and we got another spin through 1 and 2.
It's not going to stick, unfortunately, for Sessler, but he is going to get a chance to go side by side as cars all over the place. Jeremiah Johnson's 13, Cole Alton 09, the other one. We'll get a second look from the up-top cam.
Looks like maybe the 13. I don't know if he got a little help on that, but maybe just got loose.
Well, let's take a look from Aaron Flett's point of view. And hard to say. Alton might have just got the wrong portion of it. Wrong place, wrong time. But things happen really quick in these race cars. We've talked about it a lot of times. The reaction time and how fast these cars get out of control is really quick.
Yeah, especially when you're running mere inches away from each other and you got 20 other drivers on the track.
So the Brandy Hood Promotions in-car camera shot. John Zaretsky, your leader, on the upper left. Gabe Sessler outside of him in the upper right. And let's just watch these two go toe-to-toe for the lead. If you want to watch it from behind, there's Wager and Wolf. We'll get a look at it from every perspective here on the restart.
And looks like the 66 of Sessler is going to get a way better run compared to Zaretsky. He's going to go way out wide and use all that horsepower he can to get all that momentum through 3 and 4. And it looks like here, Sessler will be your new race leader.
Yeah, he's clear. You can see it from every camera you're looking in. So if he wants to get low in 1, he can do it safely. But he kind of chose to keep in the middle going through. It's a good move for him as he distances himself from John a little bit. So give Sessler the lead. Mr. Itch, your leader. Second to Zaretsky, the 51. Wager going to settle into third, but more guys coming after him. Kyle Lang making an appearance again.
Yeah, Lang, we haven't really talked about him much as he's cracking into the top 4. I believe he started around the 8th or 9th spot. And same thing with the 40, I believe that's the 42 of Chris Belanca. I believe he's won quite a few times up here at Evergreen Speedway, and he's cracking into the top 5.
He's one of the better drivers you see once you get away from Evergreen, as well as when this series is down running some of the tracks to the south. He is a very strong competitor down there as well, and yeah, he's been up on our podium more than a few times. So it's Sessler and Zaretsky. Wager has got some sharks swimming in behind him between Lang, Belanca, Wolf, and Saxton all in there at the moment.
Yeah, what a great battle as the 33 of Lang looked to the inside going through 3 and 4. It's his spot right now. As still can't, I mean, Wager has a really good battle coming off of there, but not that time. He went off the hump a little bit too much, and he will give up that third spot.
He's a pretty accomplished young racer in and of himself as Wager, but right now he's fighting a tough battle on the long way around the racetrack as Belanca's inside him, and now Saxton looking to continue in the train. In fact, Saxton was just hinting down low, thinking about trying to sneak underneath Belanca coming off 4 also and make it really wild.
I saw that. That would have been very interesting, but probably a good thing he didn't, as he looks like he might look to the inside going into turn 3, and he will. And what a good move by Saxton as he will take that 4th position away.
You know, this is the second straight race night where Saxton was a little quiet early, but boy, that car kind of exploded mid-race on as getting the win. The first night, he really had a quiet run up through the field until he took the lead from Sessler. And now watch him move as he is absolutely just humming his way through this field with about 11 laps left.
Yeah, and definitely he was playing on the conservative side. Just probably wanted to see how everything was going to play out as I believe he's our friend from Vegas. Is
That's
that where he's
right.
from?
Yep, he is one of the legend, I believe the legend national champion down from the Las Vegas Bull Ring. Runs a very big operation down there, so he gets a lot of test and tune between different cars, getting a lot of different setup info, and has a lot of resources available to him to really dial in the race car for the portion of the race that he wants to dial it in for, which is clearly about mid-race on.
Yeah, and you're definitely seeing it now. Zaretsky having a hard time as the 33 Lang will move into second. Zaretsky going to get freight trained on that outside.
Tough for John. He was running a really strong race, just wrong place, wrong time with that inside lane coming. And here's Saxton again. Another spot as he marches forward. Lang steps too far out. Peyton Saxton on the move. He's second.
Now he has a lot of ground to make up with the 66 of Sessler. He is out of the picture literally at this point. He probably has a 20-car length lead as Lang going way out wide. He's going to possibly lose third now.
Take a look. The smartest thing Chris Belanca did, once Saxton got by him, just tucked in and followed. Like, he picked up 3 to 4 spots right along the same time that Saxton did. That was smart racing from Chris Belanca.
And it's working out very well for him now. He will grab the third position as Dylan Wolf trying to get underneath Lang as well. That outside now is not a good place to be.
It isn't, especially as these tires are warming up. The racetrack is at peak temperature, you figure, right about this portion of the program. 5 to go as Saxton and Belanca trying to catch Sessler, who's a long ways gone. Wolf has worked to 4th. Lang 5, Wager 6, Zaretsky 7. It's been an incredible battle here in this top 7 in and of itself, with more cars even trying to get involved in it as well. Chad Sinner, the white and green 11 car, back in 9th, and trying to pick up, I think that's Real without the hood and the 69 right in there in 8th.
Yeah, doing a great job. I was kind of wondering, without having that hood, how much of a hindrance that will be, but obviously not much, as it looks like we'll have 3 laps to go this time by, and Sessler, he is gone in the Mazda of Everett machine.
Yeah, he's nowhere near the screen at this point in time. He is just in utter cruise control. What a cool win this would be here in the Summer Showdown for Matt and Ginger Pioli, who have fielded this car. Matt drove it for a number of years and now choosing to put Mr. Sessler in it from the go-karting ranks, who's just a hint into the screen with 2 to go. And, boy, this would be redemption from night number 1, would it not?
It most definitely would. Yeah, that I could almost say that race on Friday night was his at that point till the last 2 laps. And the white flag is coming out for Sessler.
So can he bring her home? He is smooth and fast into turn number 1. Back straightaway he goes. This is going to be cool. He's been a big winner in karts, but now finally branching out to other stuff. And he gets his first W in a legend. Gabe Sessler takes the Pioli-owned 66 to victory lane in the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium. Following him, what a charge from Peyton Saxton. A great showing from him coming up from Vegas. Chris Belanca shows his quality in 3rd. And let's throw things down to Derek Todroff on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
That number 42 car involved in one of the early incidents last night came back. You put that car back together and come home 3rd. How much work goes into making a legend new again for a race like this?
It's tough. I mean, the wreck wasn't that bad, but it killed one of our new right front tires. And I tell you, when you don't have a matching set, you could tell.
You've had quite a bit of success up here. 3 past podiums here at Evergreen Speedway, making it 4, I believe. How's it racing here versus a lot of the other tracks in the Northwest?
South Sound's my home track, but I think Evergreen's my new favorite track. It's a pretty cool place.
Who would you like to thank for the 3rd place tonight?
I want to thank the fans for coming out. Without you guys, it wouldn't be such a good time. And my family for all their support, my wife, and my sponsors, Belanca Homes, Stadium Thriftway, Liberty Plumbing, the Blaylock family, and CarStar, Premier Collision, and KB Media for all his 6 shots. Just thanks to all of them.
Driver the number 42, Chris Belanca. So you came up here, joined us here in the Pacific Northwest, especially at Evergreen Speedway. How are you liking this 3/8 oval up here?
Oh, the racetrack's incredible. The fans are incredible. It's a great turnout to support local short track racing. We're here because you're here. You're here because we're here. So thank you to everybody that come out. 66 did their homework. They beat us today. They were the fastest all day. So on paper, they deserve to win. So congrats to the 66, first time racing against Gabe. And he's a great driver. And I guess it's almost like a win finishing second to him. So 29 car is hopefully sold after we get back in the pit, and this trophy's for the little ones, and we'll get on the 18-hour drive home back to Vegas.
The Vegas native comes home second tonight, Peyton Saxton in the number 29. All right, Gabe, I've welcomed you up here a few times to talk. Finally, you come home with the victory here at Evergreen Speedway. What's it like here, rookie year in the Legend class, to pull away with a victory?
Man, it's a battle. There's so many good guys in this class. It's really competitive. It means a lot to win. We've been close probably 3 or 4 times and finally got it done, so it feels pretty great.
You put together an amazing performance coming from second yesterday into a first tonight on a big stage like Saturday night at Summer Showdown. What is that like?
It's unreal. I remember coming to the white flag, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna hit the wall, I'm gonna do something, I'm not gonna make it back around, and then, I mean, it was too good to be true.
Well, seemingly not so. You come home first place tonight. Who helped put that together?
I'd like to thank Mazda of Everett, Pioli Racing, and Joe's Racing Products, and of course, Haley, my girlfriend and spotter, did a great job, so yeah.
Driver the number 66, Gabe Sessler, first place tonight.
We've had a really exciting Home Track Heroes here on KSTW. Thank you guys for being with us. We have got a Street Stock main coming up. Chad Fitzpatrick, Caleb Hart, going to guide you through 30 laps of what could be fun. I mean, these Street Stock mains are always a blast, Chad. Let's see what happens in this one. Kenny Erickson's got the AFC Forestry number 22. He's on the pole. And next to him, that's Blaine Fagerly in the Stingray Auto Repair of Redmond 03.
And the 7 car, Mike Shimmick, sponsored by Big Block Brewing. And the 44, Mikey Marthaler, sponsored by Direct Carpet Cleaning and House Cleaning.
Row number 3, Austin Camp, the Ad Taxi 69. Gene Watson, the SCE, Snohomish County Trucking and Excavating, number 28.
The 51, Jeff Watson, sponsored by SE, Snohomish County Trucking and Excavating. And the 06, Double Duty, Steve Potasic, sponsored by Lang Autosports.
It is your defending champion. Starting 9th, Mark Hubbard's the 41 car Interstate Batteries, his sponsor. And next to him, the Tire Pros, number 3 of Jesse Jensen.
And the 43 car, Sheridan Vincent, sponsored by Siskin Power Equipment, and the 10 of Cameron Iverson, sponsored by JHR Racing, which is Jim Heller Racing.
The back row, that's Billy Decker in the red 17. Next to him, Travis Blackwood in the 5. 14 Street Stocks. 30 laps around the 3/8 mile. Final time we'll see the 3/8 here on Home Track Heroes, at least for tonight, as next segment starts the 150 lap Summer Showdown for a screen flag out. And it's Erickson, who has been a long-time fixture here, looking for his first feature win at Evergreen Speedway, and he's got the early race lead.
Yeah, it's up. Safe spot right now as they go into turn 3. Blaine Fagerly in that second spot, and it's been a long time since we've seen him in the top 3 as well. Took about a 25-year break, part of one of the original Bomber drivers out here at Evergreen Speedway, and looks like we got a good battle. Maybe 69 at Camp was looking to the inside, but something got really loose going into 1 and 2, and he's hanging for dear life into 4th.
Well, he's got her, at least for now, as everybody kind of settles back down. Erickson, Fagerly, Shimmick 1 through 3. Shimmick driving the former Ted Lindgren owned a Street Stock, and dreaded debris coming out once again. You saw the yellow lights flick on as we got that quick word in our headsets from the NASCAR officials. So we'll take a second to get that all cleaned up. And unfortunately for Erickson and Fagerly, who had a nice little pad already built up, they're going to have to go side by side again.
Yeah, we'll watch and see what happens here as, 22 Erickson searching for that first win, and it's been probably about 30 years since we've seen Blaine Fagerly in the top 3.
Wow.
So it'd be kind of cool to see. Is kind of interested to see what we have here.
So we definitely want to see, debris in turn number 2 is what they went out and grabbed. So we're going to give them a second to pick that up. We'll check back in with the booth here. Both Erickson and Blaine wanted to see that go. Go, guys.
Yeah.
Let me get out. Let me run for a little bit. At the same time, it's never a bad thing to have a little reset. Get you a mental break in the car, right?
Oh, yeah, and give those tires a break, too, even though it was very early on in this race. As we'll see what happens here as we come off of turn 4, and we are green. What a great start for Erickson as they go into turn number 1.
Oh, Shimmick with a little tap to the left rear of the 03 of Blaine. But he's going to drive through. I love the effect of watching the wheels and the tires spin on the car next to you.
Yeah, that is really cool looking.
It is, absolutely. So if you're not watching like the tires on the 3 car, and he's got a pretty cool tire wheel combination set up there, take a look at it. The visual effect of it's awesome. Is out front, it's Erickson. Fagerly 2, Shimmick 3, and we're watching Mark Hubbard take off to the high side to try to roll through the back.
Yeah, he definitely lives on the outside in the brand new looking car to him is pretty much the last race. He had to reskin the whole car, so might as well just put a new paint job on it. As Erickson still out front. Out of the 14 street stocks, about 12 of them are just in one big clump here.
Oh, look out, right in the middle, the 51 of Watson sideways. Hubbard gets a piece of him, and that's not going to be nice on the new body that he had to hang on that race car. And there's Watson just taking a trip through the green grass.
Yep. Look out, Jeff. There's the pace car. We stay green thus far. He's able to get off the track. It's Kenny Erickson. That's exactly what Kenny wanted to see, as he got about a 2 or 3 car length lead over 03 of Blaine going into turn 3.
One less car and stay green is always a good thing when you are the leader. So Erickson, Fagerly, and Camp 1 through 3 right now. Would be a unique podium as far as this Evergreen Speedway season is considered. Chasing them down, that is Watson, Gene version in the Davey Allison looking 28 car.
And he has a win under his belt as well under his rookie season. That's really good to see. As the 5 car, the 2005 Bomber champ of Travis Blackwood, who we haven't seen out all year, has worked his way up into the top 5.
I thought Historic Night was a few weeks back, was it not?
It was.
Okay, well, we're just flashing back. It's looking like a 20-year-old race at this point in time.
Yeah. Just useless knowledge in my head.
That's why we pay you the big bucks. 8 laps in, 22 to go here in the Tire Pros Street Stock. This segment brought to you by Tire Pros, the official tire dealer of Evergreen Speedway. Tire Pros, your one-stop tire retailer, where honesty is the best policy and they have a hassle-free guarantee. Tire Pros has all the national brands, offers a nationwide warranty on your tires. Go to TirePros.com.
And just saw a good power move by the 69 of Austin Camp to get underneath the 03 of Blaine Fagerly, as he's looking to maybe try to grab the lead from Erickson off of turn number 2, a 5-car breakaway for the lead.
Austin Camp after it on Erickson. Erickson, though, calmly into the corner and hangs on for now, although Camp all over him. Camp got the 69 working really well here tonight.
It's working really good coming off the corners, too, as 22 Erickson put a big block on the 69 of Camp, as we got a good battle for the 3rd position, as Gene Watson, will move into the podium spot.
A nice move by Gene, right place, right time. Fagerly's been out in the middle and the outside a couple of times here, and it hasn't really worked well for him. Although, trying to hold off the 5 of Blackwood and did a good job there. I thought he was going to go down a spot, but he ends up rallying and taking it back.
Yeah, with this class, they're racing in the heat of the day. And with these big motors and small tire, if you're here live, you can pretty much, when you go into turn 1, their tire squeals almost louder than the car itself, because they are just hanging on for dear life at this point.
Maximum handling necessary going into the corner at those speeds. Now Jensen finally kind of clips free of the plaque. We've been waiting. Jesse Jensen's usually a little more aggressive in working his way up and through the field, but right now, just a little bit before halfway, and he is just now picking up what looks to be position 5.
Yeah, definitely driving a little more conservative. We're 3 wide down the back straightaway, as 03 of Blaine Fagerly dropped the tire off the backstretch, held on, and he still keeps on going. And that was a good move by the 3 of Jensen as he moves into 4th.
Yeah, they almost made a Blackwood sandwich there. Could have been very, very bad.
Yeah.
Barthol are going to do a good job sneaking down to the bottom, bring Potasic with him, trying to pick up a spot.
Yeah, Potasic, we haven't talked much about him either. This was a 10-car invert, so a lot of the fast guys had to start towards the back. We got Camp looking to the inside, as now the 28 of Watson looks to the inside as well, as Erickson holds the lead.
Bad timing there for Erickson and Camp to do what they were doing, because here comes Watson, and that allowed Jensen to pick up his way to 4th as well. So here comes Watson, and Watson looking for the lead on Erickson. He's got a nice line working to the bottom. Let's see if he dives low into 1. It looks like he's going to.
He does. We got a side-by-side battle now for the lead, as Watson will grab the lead now, and he is gone. Let's see if the 69 of Camp can maybe do something with it. Can't quite make it happen, but that just set up the 3 of Jensen just to go fighting on the outside of both of them.
Wow, Jesse had the kind of run that if Erickson hadn't started swinging out, he almost went 2 for 1 in that 3rd and 4th corner.
It definitely would have. They were definitely slowed down enough through the middle of the corner that he could have probably made that pass work. A little bit of contact as they go into turn 3, and I think he has he definitely does have a flat. Goodbye, Austin.
Oh, no. So Camp goes off into the grass with a flat tire. That stinks for him. He had a solid run going here, and that's going to gather this field up here in the Tire Pros Street Stock. So we'll give him a chance to get back into position. Chad, this has been a lot of fun up front, but Gene Watson now in control of this.
Yeah, this is a big one, and I believe they pay a little bit more for this race, too. I believe it's a $1,000 paycheck for the Street Stock main event, so this is a big one for them, as Kenny Erickson and the 28 of Watson coming to the green as we look like we're missing a couple cars, and a great start for Gene Watson as they go into turn 1.
Yeah, the field thinned out a little bit, although somebody came out of the pits at the very last second. I don't know if that wasn't Austin Camp who just snuck out at the very end.
I believe so, and that was perfect timing on his part. Is maybe if we might see another caution, who knows at this point, but he wants to see one because he wants everyone to bunch up.
Badly, so you'll see him just maybe barely clipping into the picture if we get a look at the back of the field. He's not quite there yet, but Camp still with a chance to salvage his day as they were almost 3 wide again for a second. It's Mike Marthaler working his way up into third. Nice run, Mike.
Yeah, look at that. We didn't talk about him much either, and he's moving up into the top 3. Blackwood, his teammate, looking to follow as well. Erickson hung out, unfortunately, on that outside groove.
Haven't talked a lot about Vincent either, as he's starting to try to come through the field and be a factor. Oh, sorry, that's not Vincent. That's the new scheme on Hubbard. They look a little bit, a little similar. Then you check the body styles are still a little bit different. As Vincent still looks kind of like the old style Camaro, whereas Hubbard's got that, I don't know, street stock / late model body on it.
Yeah, he has a Gen 3 body on his Gen 2 Camaro as Erickson picks up. Oh, hold on, Kenny.
Look out.
Oh, that was close.
Swim it, buddy. And he keeps her out of the tires coming off the floor, but that cost Erickson a couple of spots.
Yeah, that's definitely a horrible feeling as Blackwood really loose through 1 and 2. Now open up the door for Steve Batasic. Those two have raced many, many years together here at Evergreen Speedway when this class was called the Bomber Division, so they definitely have a lot of history together here.
I'll tell you what, there's been something happening throughout this field the entire race. You haven't looked and not seen somebody side by side or passing through the duration of the 22 laps that are complete or whatever's left. Here comes Hubbard on Patasic, and that's a battle right outside your top 5. In fact, it's for 4th at the moment. Patasic down the front straightaway, Hubbard following him, and Blackwood not done.
No, he definitely is not. A former Dwayne Shosbeck car, and doing a very good job coming off of turn 2, but looked really loose that time. And like I said, this is the first time we've seen him out all the year, so kind of trying to learn this car as he goes.
Just look for the inverse of the Marthaler paint scheme, right?
Yeah.
Or that's the best way I'm trying to do it. You pick it up that quick. So Patasic low, Hubbard high, and meanwhile, this battle for the lead getting intense. Jensen in the 2nd spot. Little love tap to Watson getting into turn number 3.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. A bigger payday for these guys. He's going to do everything possible to keep the 3 car behind him as the 3 car trying every way, inside, outside, to get around the 28 of Gene Watson.
And, cars together, one of them. It's the 03 of Fagerly and the 69 of Camp together. So Camp caught the back of the field. He got there. He rolled up on it. Didn't get a second look at it, but Camp caused his own caution to maybe get back up in there. Hey, all right. No judgment. We're good. Whatever you got to do, bud. All right, let's move through. They're double back up, and we got 5 to go.
This will be very interesting. 5 laps to go, and we know the 3 car does really well on the outside. We'll have to see what happens here. That was a really good start for the 28 of Gene Watson as we'll go green.
Nice start. Watson now. Jensen going to have to wind it up in the middle and make his hay where he has been doing it all year long. Marthaler secures 3rd, and they said, let's try this again.
Yep, that was a no-no on that part. 28 of Watson got a little bit too far out. They try to keep everyone evenly matched when they go through 3 and 4. So
what are they telling you on the receiver radio as you're coming through in regards to that start line?
Well, they maintain pace car speed until you get to the start line, and then if you don't make it happen, then they say you got one morning and we'll figure out who we can get up front to do it.
So they're not wanting you to accelerate pre-start line.
Correct. They want you pace car speed until right now, and that is textbook of what they wanted right there.
All right, so that looks way better, and this time you can see the difference as Watson down low, Jensen with a really good run up high, but cars together. They saved it, but the yellow's coming out regardless.
Yeah, that was a very good save on the 43 of Vincent. We'll watch and see what happens here.
From the in-car camera, let's take a look at it. Hubbard got in, kind of tapped Kenny, and then faded up and out of the line and caught and collected Vincent, and unfortunately for the two of them, to the back of the pack and another restart coming.
And a new right front tire on the 41 of Hubbard.
Yeah, no kidding. So, back again, double file we go. Watson low, Jensen high. Those are the looks from the top of the field, and Marthaler's in the row right behind him. Back to green. Let's see if we can get 5 more in.
As we are green once again, as the 3 of Jesse Jensen with a really good move off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. nose to tail behind them as they are still side by side, Camaro to Camaro as they go into turn 3. 4 to go this time by, and a little bit of advantage of the 28 of Watson as they come down through the corner.
Watson did not leave Jensen a whole lot of room up in the upper reaches of the racetrack in the back straightaway. You saw her there, but that is the ragged edge that these drivers are running on to try to make something happen. So it is Watson down low, Jensen not even really up high, but through the middle of those corners, down the front straightaway, and Jesse is going to sneak into the lead, I think, at the line, and the transponders agree with me.
Yeah, just barely, as the 44 of Marthaler is also looking for his first main event win as well. So hopefully he can maybe sneak past and see what happens here. 2 laps to go, and your guess is as good as mine of who has this.
Yeah, this is anything could happen here at the very end. Your top 3 have got a little bit of a breakaway. Jensen has got just enough of an advantage, and ooh, there's a tap on Jensen coming down out of turn number 2. Watson loses it. Jesse into the corner. Following Marthaler, your new leader with 1 to go.
Yeah, Marthaler hanging on for dear life as they go through 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, searching for his first win. We'll watch and see what happens here.
All right, so into the back straightaway they go. Into turn number 3, Jensen in and through the corner with him. Onto the back of him and into him and around. Marthaler around. It's Jensen to the line, to the checkered and the caution. And I think we got some... We've got some chatter on the officials channel already, but first let's see a replay. All right, so
yeah, little contact.
Yeah, for sure. Now watch on Marthaler's end. And yep, he is apex a corner and going around. And if you're Mike, I mean, that's a gut-wrenching feeling. So here and through the corner again, and tapped him. Around he goes, and what we understand, the call that has been made is that the black flag has been shown to the 3. Kenny Erickson gets his first win in 30 years. Let's talk to him.
In a word, Austin, we'll call that chaos. It was into the grass. It was battling with Fagerly. I mean, back and forth. All of you went around that track. It was an amazing race, but what was it like for a driver?
Oh man, it was wild. A lot of chaos out there, but I can't thank my crew enough. Scott Reese is here with me every weekend. My daughter Adriana, she's normally my spotter. She's out tonight. My wife, my sponsors, Ava Cannon Real Estate, the whole Cannon family. They support the racing community so much. Dirt Cheap Racing, Ad Taxi. I'm probably forgetting everybody, man. This is wild. Woo!
What is it like to come here in front of this Summer Showdown crowd and put on a show like that in the Tire Pro Street Stocks?
That's what we do it for, man. We're here for the fans. We're here for the kids. Some of my biggest supporters and fans are all the kid drivers from WQMA, the quarter midget track across the street. Woo! Man, it was wild.
Third place tonight, driver the 69, Austin Camp. Man, Blaine, you had quite the run through that field. In and out, cars just, you got hit, you hit a few. It was all around chaos in that 03 machine. What is it like from the driver's perspective?
Evil.
You put on a show out here, and you've been increasingly present in these races, becoming more and more of a competitor in that 03 car. You're learning how to drive that thing to the front. How's it feel to take home the podium?
Very good. It's about time.
Who would you like to thank for that 03 machine?
Well, my wife, first of all, Dave Lund, Doug Poirier, Bruce Pendergrass, the Watson brothers, and my major sponsor, Jason at Stingray Auto Repair.
That 03 machine was quick, and so was Blaine Fagerly, second place tonight. Kenny, you were rewarded for everything you put into this race, driving through at the front of the field, holding on to that position, and just patience, watching the cars in front of you make mistakes, and finally taking home a victory. What is that like in front of the Summer Showdown crowd?
Yeah, it's so great. You know, my first win ever. It's been a long time coming, so I'm so happy. But just patience and, you know, watching what was going on and getting out of trouble, and yeah, it was a great time.
You look amazing in that 22 machine this year with that brand new wrap. Walk us through the process that it took from that first race this season, drove it into the tire barrier, you've pieced it back together, and now you're rewarded with a win.
Yeah, very first race, drove it off in turn 3 and hit the tires and tore it up. Rebuilt it, got it back, and been doing better every race, seems like.
And that culminates here with the first place finish. Who would you like to thank for helping you do that?
My wife, for sure, my parents, my dad in the pits. He's there rebuilding the car every week, helping me out. I can't do it without him.
Driver the number 22, your race winner in the Tire Pro Street Stock class, Kenny Erickson.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes here on KSTW. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. Our job, Chad, to guide these fans through the next 150 laps of super late model main event. It's Summer Showdown time. Front row, Cole Raz, Rupinski Racing number 63, and the Western Machine Inc. number 22G of Jonathan Gomez.
And scheduled to start third is the 00 of Nama Lang, sponsored by Lang Autosports, and the 15 of Taylor Riddle, sponsored by Primary Electric.
Row number 3 is Casey Klein's Thamert Farms number 1, Hayden Pleibon's 55, the Colwicki Driver Development car starts 6th.
54, Donnie St. Hour, sponsored by SPS Sigma Performance Services, and the 10 of Owen Riddle, sponsored by Don Riddle Excavating.
The legend, Garrett Evans, starts in the 9th spot in the Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore number 64. Next to him, Max Schroeder, the 17, sponsored by Snoqualmie Falls Golf Course.
70 of Dawson Cox, sponsored by Bush, and the 14A of Michael Atwell, sponsored by Davidson Electric.
Row behind them, Logan Jewell, the 92, Eric Jr. Racing, the sponsor on that car. Trenton Moriarty next to him in the 12, sponsored by Brock Rentals, Inc.
The 88 of Jason Gilbert, sponsored by HUR Engines, and the 7 of Zach Reel, sponsored by Dan Reel Excavating.
Row behind them is the 69 of Xander Peters, and the 14 of Colton Price, sponsored by Northwest Boiler.
The 48 of Preston Peltier, sponsored by Generator Source, and the 22 of John Lathrop Jr., sponsored by Lakes Auto Body.
Final row, Tanner Holm, the 48T, sponsored by Johansson Mechanical, and Donnie Wannett, the 89W, sponsored by Northwest Builder Group. We've had a quick change to the lineup already. Looks like Nama Lang has pulled out of position in the 00 and quickly into the pits. So Nama, this is the last one that he has to win here at Evergreen Speedway. He does not have a Summer Showdown win. Unfortunately, gives up his third place starting spot in this run. We'll get more to that later, but we are green, and it's Cole Raz's race so far.
And Jonathan Gomez hanging tough in that second spot with a good run compared to the 15 of Taylor Riddle as they go into turn 3. All trying to get single file because we got a long time to get through this. And the one car of Casey Klein trying to get down to the bottom as we got one down, 149 to go.
Well, we got a lot of storylines to follow here during this race, Chad, and let's start with number 1. The Showdown, traditionally a 200 lapper. This is a 150 lapper this year, so it changes strategy a little bit with a break at the halfway point. Now, traditionally, that break came at 100. Now that break comes at 75. So all these drivers are going to have to adapt strategy a little bit from what they're used to.
Yep, this will be more of a sprint than a marathon at this point. Taking 50 laps away from a big race like this can mean a whole bunch to every single driver out here.
It's going to mean that more cars are still running at the very end as usually attrition starts to set up. Guys' equipment just sometimes can't hold up for a full 200 around our 5/8 mile track. But secondarily to that, with more cars running, that's more guys that your lead pack has to get through and pass at that point in time when it's coming down to the nitty-gritty of that checkered flag.
Most definitely, and noticeably in the back is the our defending champion of this race. The 48 of Preston Peltier had an issue on the Friday night heat race, had to start in the back. They made him do a 25-lap tire run because they want to keep everyone fair with their tires.
Yep.
And he is slowly working his way through, and we just saw Nama Lang able to get out whatever they figured out. It's working. He's 2 laps down at this point.
Well, so Nama's going to have to definitely pedal to try to get some lucky breaks, some lucky dogs. We do have a lucky dog in this?
We do.
Okay, so he's got a chance to unlap himself and still be a factor in the late race going. You kind of hit on one of the second parts that I wanted to get to, and that's Preston Peltier, who has just been the dominant factor in this race. He's been our winner for 4 of the last 5 Summer Showdowns here at Evergreen Speedway.
Yeah, he's definitely accumulated a lot of money out here at Evergreen Speedway. I believe he's from Colorado, and he drives all over the all over the Northwest as well, but all over the country. You see him at the Snowball Derby in Florida. You see him. He won an Apple Cup in 2022 at Tri-Cities.
Heck, the week after he won the Summer Showdown here last year, he went all the way to Michigan for a run. So, yep, he is a professional racer. That is what he does. He's not a hobbyist. He is out here to take the Evergreen Speedway dollars. That's what he's after. And he started deep in this field, but I can't imagine it's going to take Preston all that long to get forward. He's done this before, starting at the back and coming to the front.
Yep, so this will be definitely interesting and fun to watch as we watch through the movement of all the cars and 143 laps to go. So kind of at this point, people are just going to sit back and relax and save their stuff probably for the second half. But you also don't want to get too far back because you might be lapped at that point.
So let's talk a second about the guy who is leading then, and that is Cole Raz. We have seen him in victory lane on the 5.8s in the super late models here at Evergreen Speedway as he picked up the Mark Galloway that we had about a month ago. Raz is going to set this pace, and that is a dangerous position for everybody else chasing him.
Oh, yeah, when you're up front and you're in clean air, the cars tend to do a lot better, and this car that's leading up front has a really good pace right now. And watching the 00 of Nema Lang, they're not catching him, and he didn't have any warm-up laps. So this is definitely interesting to see. I'm sure Nema is kind of disappointed at this point, knowing he's a couple laps down, and the leaders are not catching him.
You know what I just thought of, and this is a really silly thing, but hear me out here, right? He's 2 laps down. If he catches a lucky dog, that's a lap of racing that he gets credited for, but that he doesn't actually have to put on the tires.
Correct.
So, yeah, your tire is 1 less lap old than everybody, or all four corners of the tires are 1 less lap old. Much less if he gets a second lucky dog and gets back on the lead lap, then he's got 2 lap fresher tires.
Oh, yeah. And on this track, the 5.8s, it was paved in 1963. It is 60 years old. It is a cheese grater, so you want to be very, very careful on your tires here on the 5.8s.
Now, you've been on the 5.8s more than a couple of times now. How much tire management goes into the early portions of this race?
It is very, very big. You want to be very, very careful, especially on that right rear. You do not want to make that right rear mad because it will be very, very loose all the way around.
Are you 90% in the early going? I mean, if you had to put a number on it, where would you say that you are?
The hard part with my style of racing versus the super lates that we're watching here, I'm in a crate motor, so I have a lot less horsepower.
Okay.
So I can pretty much go almost 100% the whole way. You just got to be very, very careful not to make that right rear get really hot. Now, in these guys' instance, you kind of probably want to go about 80 to 90%.
Okay.
You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to have whatever's left of your tires be gone because you could probably get a really good run as we're seeing a very good battle, looks like, for the 5th or 6th spot between the 54 of St. Hours and the 10 of Owen Riddle. And you just don't want to lose whatever you have left in your tires before you get to that second half.
Owen Riddle is one of the guys he was the guy that interrupted the run of Preston Peltier, who had picked up 3 straight coming into 2021. Riddle was the 2021 winner of this race, so he has been to victory lane here more recently than anybody else other than Preston. Also, Taylor Riddle, the only other winner in the field at this point in time. Taylor picked up the win in 2016. Peltier was the winner in 17, 18, 19, and 22, as you've got some 2-wide action, almost 3-wide for a second through the field.
That was very close call between the one car of Casey Klein and the 22 of Lathrop. I don't think the one car was thinking that he would get up that fast to the 22, and he had to turn almost right to get away from him and went up a couple lanes, and the 54 of St. Hours and the 10 of Riddle caught up to him. That was very good driving, and we got a caution.
That's Donnie Wannett. Wannett swerving here on the front straightaway, and tire looks to be down on that race car. Let's get a viewpoint of it around the corner. Yes, sir. Right rear is in pretty bad shape for Wannett, so he's going to have to go in, swap that out really quick, and throw us back into action. Now, the field's going to form up. Yellow flag laps do not count?
I believe they do not for this, but if they start to run out, they have the option to do that.
Okay, so right now the yellow flag laps do not count. If Wannett could get that swapped out and back onto the track, he'll be in lead lap position.
Contact before they went green between the 22 of Gomez and the 63 of Raz, and the one car of Klein going way out wide.
Hey, walls are there for a reason. Keep the car in the yard, but Klein seeing an opportunity to try to work his way up into second position early here. So Klein looking for second, couldn't quite get her to go, and Gomez will settle back in and take the 2 spot.
Yeah, at this point, we're so early into this, probably just settle for that, and maybe leave whatever he has left for the end of the segment, and maybe he can get around the 63 of Raz. You kind of want to keep, if you're trying to save, you kind of want to keep everyone close to you so they don't get far away. But look at the 48 car coming up through the field.
Yeah, he's already 6. That caution was a huge help to him, as now he's following the Riddle boys around, who are racing in for the 4th and 5th position. Right now, it was Taylor ahead of Owen, at least for the time being, as the field, we're only 17 laps into this. Peltier has already picked up a bunch of cars. Let's see how hard he wants to push it here in the early stages.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to settle down right now, able to see where the 63 Raz is. He was one of the fastest cars all weekend long. I believe, though, the 48 of Peltier's, who set fast time this weekend for the super late model race, as the two Riddles, 4th and 5th right now, as Gomez sitting quietly in 2nd. As looks like, yeah, the 63 just able to do what he keeps on doing.
Just keep on clipping laps away. Racing here at Evergreen Speedway, brought to you by Bardall. Bardall Manufacturing, located in Seattle, a world leader in automotive lubricants with oils, additives, lubricants for your car, truck, boat, or motorized toy like these super late models you see on the track right now. Pick the brand racers around the world rely on. Bardall, celebrating over 82 years of business and operating in 90 countries. Make Bardall your brand.
So a little bit of contact between the 48 of Peltier and the 10 of Riddle as they went through 1 and 2. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that was definitely a very close call, that last lap right there.
Well, you know, some guys, they aren't here to make friends. They'll bring their friends with them if they absolutely need them. And, hey, we're talking big league super late model racing here. You know, it gets physical. That's just the nature of the beast.
A lot of money on the line. You're going to do everything you can to keep that person behind you. As Klein doing a great job. I believe he came from the Junior Pro Late Model division that they used to run on the east side of the mountains, and I believe in California.
You know, it's funny. I used to watch his dad, Mitch, run for years and years. He's one of the best drivers to ever come out of Ephrata Raceway Park and the surrounding areas. Moved on to run some late model stuff at Wenatchee, Yakima, etc. while it went through. Mitch, very talented, very naturally talented in the race car, and you can see Casey following that along. Unfortunately for Casey, he's got one of the best in the world underneath him right now in Preston Peltier, who's about to shuffle him back a spot.
Yeah, Peltier with the advantage going through 1 and 2. This track here, probably towards the later stages of the race, we'll see the second groove probably be more of the favorable groove because you're not turning as much. So you're not scrubbing off as much speed. So we'll watch and see if that actually goes into play towards the end of this race.
So as tires wear down, you're not sawing on the wheel. You don't have the same angle on the tire coming into the corner to run the low groove, and it's easier on your rubber.
Exactly. And then the other thing is this track, like I said, is pretty old. It has a lot of bumps. When you're down right by the white line, there are so many bumps going through the corner that it upsets your car and it takes all that momentum away.
We just saw that in the street stock race.
Correct.
So we are just about a sixth of the way through. In fact, 24 laps in, 126 to go. Peltier just ducks to the inside. He's now up into the 3rd position as he passes Taylor Riddle for the spot.
Yeah, he is definitely right now the man on the move, as he will definitely. We'll see how fast he can get up to Gomez if he can at this point, because he's definitely using his tires up.
So Peltier is up to 3rd, and one of the things that we should remember are there are various different engine configurations that are running this race, as there's 2 different crate packages and an open package as well. Peltier has got the open package, which means he's got to be on the massive tire management side of things.
Oh, yeah. When you have a lot of horsepower like this, you know, you can. This is probably one of the only tracks in the Northwest that you can actually probably use your horsepower to your full advantage, because this is, for most of the people in this race, this will be one of the biggest tracks that they run on in their whole racing career, as this is, I believe, one of the biggest tracks in the Northwest.
Biggest west of the Mississippi?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but it very well could be.
Yeah, and it doesn't get used much. That's the second thing to it, right? We run plenty on our 3/8s all the time, but these 5/8 races are rare, and they're a different breed as you watch the 10 of Riddle sneaking underneath the 1 of Klein and picking up a spot. Good move by Owen Riddle.
Yeah, and versus like the 10 of Owen Riddle, he has many, many races on this 5/8s, where Casey Klein, this was his second time, maybe third time on the 5/8s, where last year was his first time.
Part of the reason that you see guys like Klein come over and run both the Pro Late Model and the Super Late Model races on the 5/8s when you get a chance at the Galloways, just to get that extra seat time.
Yeah, with this racetrack, there's virtually so many different lines you can run. That's one thing that's really nice about this 5/8 track is Klein gets really loose off of 2, and he's still able to hang on to that. I believe that's the 5th position. Donnie St. Hour is trying to get underneath, as they made a little contact between each other in the Friday night heat race, so hopefully that does not go into this main event here.
St. Hours with the move to get underneath him. His Klein looks like he's got a handful here early, but here's the nice thing. Break at 75, and during that break, you're getting new rubber on the car, right?
Mhm.
But you're also making adjustments, and in those adjustments, you can certainly take a race car that's ill and turn it to good in a quick hurry.
Yes, yeah. And one thing that's really difficult when you have those breaks is the, you're also driving in a different track condition now, because generally, it started off when it's sunny and warm. Now it's
Yeah.
going to be cool and dark.
We're going to watch that transition happen over the course of these segments here on Home Track Heroes. As you just watched Peltier get by Gomez, exits the corner a little bit high. Now Peltier is going to start the process of running down Cole Raz, who has led since the drop of the green flag. 31 laps into this, and you can see on the ticker, 119 to go, but Raz has got the man trying to chase him down at this point.
Yeah, and the 48 of Peltier is coming in quick. Now they should have a little bit of open track ahead of them now, as they're going to put Xandar Peters, who raced the Friday night race in the Pro Late models, doing double duty. They put him a lap down, as he should probably be absolutely no hindrance to the 48 of Peltier.
So talk to me a little bit about strategy now if you're the guy up in front, Raz, and I think actually more important Peltier coming up, because we're halfway to the break. We're a little short of halfway to the break. If you're Preston and you know you're going to get a tire swap, but you're close to getting to the lead, are you pressing to put as many people a lap down before the break as possible?
It's so fun. I've never been in that position, but probably if I was him, yes. You want to put as many people lap down, because obviously that's less contenders on that lap if something were to happen to you later on.
So Peltier, you're watching him in second. He's streaking away from Gomez, and he is rapidly closing in on Cole Raz. If you're one of those guys at the back of the field, it's the flip side. You are fighting tooth and nail to stay on that lead lap before the break. Right?
Oh, yeah, you're hanging on for dear life. You do not want to go a lap down, as the 48 of Peltier just coming in quick, lap by lap. Every time we talk about him, he moves about a car length quicker to the 63, and a good battle between the 1 and the 17 and 64 Evans.
Let's go backwards a little bit. That's Casey Klein in the 1 car, and a couple of drivers rolling in on him. Max Schroeder, 17. Garrett Evans is 64. Evans, this one's also on the list of races that Garrett hasn't won, surprisingly. Although Summer Showdown doesn't have a huge 40-year history like some of the other 10-pole races in the Northwest do. But Garrett definitely wants to add this one to his resume before we're all done, as we're watching Schroeder take over Klein for a spot in the top 10 at the moment.
Schroeder, another one of our, I believe he's from Eastern Washington, drivers coming over to join the Summer Showdown fun. And yeah, Garrett Evans, he's probably, hate to say, is probably one of the oldest drivers in the field as well.
He's one of the older super late model active drivers in the country at this point in time, but
yeah,
the guy can still get the job done. That's the thing. As you watch him circle up and around Lathrop, not the first time we've seen a Leonard Evans used car superstore car circle a Lake's Body Shop car.
Yeah,
for the historians watching the crowd.
Yeah, it's been a long time. That's probably been going on since the late 70s out here.
You and I from are flashing back to watching Garrett and Ronnie just battling between here at Evergreen Speedway and Wenatchee and South Sound, and some of the wars that those guys had, right?
I even got to race with both of them in the same race. It was really, really cool.
Did you get Pete Harding at the same time?
I had Pete Harding in that race as well.
Oh, man, consider yourself lucky. That would have been super cool. The 3 Titans. I mean, if you're making a Mount Rushmore of late model races in the Pacific Northwest, right?
Might as well have all 3, do it all at once.
Those are taking 3 of my 4 spots, that's for sure. Well, Cole Raz, guy young in his career, he's looking to maybe be one of those Mount Rushmore guys before it's all said and done. Has Preston Peltier a car length back from him with traffic in dual lanes ahead of him. This is very bad for Raz.
Yeah, you do not want to see that. But if you're also in the, I believe that's 92 of Logan Jewell and the 14 of Colton Price, you want to try to hold your lap, but you also don't want to try to mess up their race as well. And it looks like now they're going to move out of the way. But yeah, that could have been disastrous for the 63 at Cole Raz.
Well, he got past both of them. Peltier is still lingering down on the bottom as we're 40 laps into this, 30 laps away from the break. The question for Raz is, can he keep Peltier behind him for 30? It's looking like it's going to be a tough road to hoe, but let's see what Cole can do.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. You know, getting to him is one thing, and then trying to pass him is another. And Cole Raz, you know, he has 2 big wins so far this year. In the month of June alone, you know, he goes and wins at the early racing Wenatchee, won the Wenatchee 200,
Yep.
$20,000 to win. Then he wins the $5,000 Mark Galloway. The month of June, he won $25,000 alone.
That's right. Well, he's looking for more here, and right now he's got momentum and confidence, but Preston Peltier is trying to sneak around the outside of Raz. He's got a nice run coming down the front straightaway.
Yeah, great run for the 48 of Peltier. Will go way up high, probably going to use all the momentum he has as the 63 way down low. Not able to really get by the 40 or the 63, not letting him get by, as they're still side by side through 3 and 4.
Well, Raz making him work for it, but Peltier just has so much speed off the top of 4. Look at that, as he almost pulls him a full car coming from the exit of the corner into turn number 1.
Yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention, the front stretch is newer pavement too, so you might get a little bit more of a run coming off of 4 versus turn 2.
So he's got the lead. We're going to have a new leader as of, it was lap 43, where Peltier was actually in front of the line. So Raz leads 1 through 42. Peltier takes over the lead on lap number 43. And right about now, let's see how far he can get this stretch. And more importantly for him, how many cars he can put a lap down.
And it looks like they're going to put another, or this will be the first lap down for the 48 of Tanner Holm. First time out this year. So normally we see him in the years past in the Pro Late models here at Evergreen Speedway.
Well, Holm is going to try to stay on the lead lap, but we have got to duck away to our first commercial break. We've got more of the Summer Showdown coming up here for the Super Late models as you are watching live on Home Track Heroes here on KSTW. This is the Summer Showdown here on Home Track Heroes on KSTW. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. I am Caleb Hart. When we ducked away to break, Preston Peltier had taken the lead. I was trying to get away from Cole Raz. They are still 1 and 2. You're watching the battle for 3rd and 4th. Jonathan Gomez in the 22G, and he is fighting off Taylor Riddle's 15 car for that spot.
Taylor Riddle looking to get in the top 3 position. I believe he was the 2016 Summer Showdown winner.
Yep.
So looking to gain a couple more spots. Jonathan Gomez, he has won, I believe, he hasn't won a showdown, but he has won quite a few Super Late model races in his time.
He's run really well here at Evergreen Speedway over the course of this segment brought to you by Central Welding. Central Welding Supplies. Mission of excellent service hasn't changed since 1975. Locally owned, larger inventory and expert staff makes a difference at 27 locations. Find one near you at centralwelding.com.
So that battle for that 3rd spot starting to heat up and getting closer and closer. The 15 car getting closer to the 22 of Jonathan Gomez. Looks like they'll put a lap on the 14 of Michael Atwell.
Ooh.
That we normally see on driving as Chris Davidson. We got a battle now to the bottom.
Yeah, Gomez got real high through 3 and 4 and didn't want to make the big lane change. He pushes big time in the center of the corner, gets out, but gets back to the throttle pedal, at least for the time being, and holds off Riddle for now, but we'll see if Riddle can make a good 3 and 4 again, and if Gomez, if that push persists.
So it looked like that time not as bad, but he also learned from the lap before not to go as high through 3 and 4. As one thing, it may look like a push, but it also could be the car sliding up the track as well. My car has tended to do that, and it makes it look like it's pushing, but it's a full body slide.
Okay.
Going through 1 and 2.
Now, is that a result? We talked a little bit earlier, and especially about like the tire maintenance. We might have to get back to it. There's Riddle getting to the inside on Gomez. Gomez still just a little wide off the turn, and Riddle right there threatening him. He's got a lane underneath him going into 1.
Yeah, he has a really good lane that time. We'll watch and see what happens. Riddle hits those bumps coming off of 2, messes up all the momentum he has, and Gomez is gone. And something wrong with Riddle that time because we're yellow.
Oh, we got a car up into the wall. That's the outside of turn number 3 that you're looking at. And that is the 14 of Colton Price. Price may have fenced it and may have fenced it hard. Let's look from Donnie Wannett's point of view. And oof, you can almost feel the impact there as he comes through. Here's the in-car from Colton, the Brandy Hood Promotions.
Oh,
yeah.
ouch.
I think that one's Dunsky.
Yeah, that was a really, really hard hit. As good to hear Colton Price is okay.
The first thing you saw was him moving his head in that beautiful Joe's Racing Products rearview mirror that was coming through. So good to see on Colton there. But, yeah, that race car's going to be done for the afternoon.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit longer.
Yeah, that concrete does not give. So we have the 48 of Peltier chose the outside this time.
Interesting.
So we'll watch and see what happens here.
We're 16 laps away from the break, and cars together. No, Garrett Evans. That's going to stink. Caution flag out for Garrett as Another one in the wall, and we've got some ways to look at her here from Donnie Wannett's point of view.
It looks like, might have had a little help there.
Maybe. From the inside, yeah. I'd like to see another angle on that. Here's Garrett coming down the front straightaway. He got a push and he got a smash. That stinks.
Ooh, and on Garrett's part, that would be a very scary situation, is when you're spinning like that, you don't know if you're going to hit the wall or get hit by more cars.
One of the younger drivers in the field and one of the oldest drivers in the field, unfortunately, together on that one. So Garrett's afternoon looks to be done.
Yeah, but he was okay as well, so that's all that matters.
That is. Garrett's taken a hit or two like that before. You never want to see it, but we will see the legend hopefully again here at Evergreen Speedway at some point in time.
I'm sure we will.
Second try, 16 laps before the break we go. Peltier on the outside again.
Peltier will take the outside. You'll probably see why he does when we go into turn 1 and 2, as he goes way out wide, and that's going to keep the 63 down going through those bumps off of turn 2. And look at Peltier with all that run because he didn't have to go over those bumps.
Okay, so we spoke a little bit about what we thought Gomez might be experiencing there, a push versus a full car wash. And you had talked earlier on in the program about the feeling that you got when you made the right rear angry. Is that kind of indicative of what we were seeing there, or is that a sub-problem?
That could be a little bit of both. He could be because he might be leaking something, or from what I noticed in my own past, is if it starts doing that like what Gomez was doing, it's because the right rear just can't keep up, and same thing with the right front as well. So it's just taking the whole car with it.
And that's one of the signs that you've made that right rear angry, is that the car just will not stay down, period, in the corner.
Very true. And then the reason why he's even making it wash up even higher is because now you're not turning as hard, because if you're trying to keep it down to the white line, you're going to hold that car down, and it's going to just want to get even more looser.
Scrub even more speed at that point in time and cost yourself even more momentum.
Yes, that's what's really nice about the 5/8 is since it's not a very tight corner, you can diamond it and let it go up the track through the middle and come off. If you can get the car to turn and come off straight, you'll get a very good corner.
Is it a lot vastly different than running on the 3/8?
Very much. There are so many different lines you could run on this track. It's definitely the 5/8 could be a 2-3 groove racetrack.
Gotcha. And those lines can change depending on how your car's handling, what your tires doing left at the point in time of the race, right?
Yes. What we'll see probably throughout this race is everyone's lines changing throughout the race because they're trying to make a comfortable line for their car, as this track is very hard on cars because of the racing surface.
Well, we're 12 laps away from the break, a chance to swap tires, make adjustments to the setup. As you see, Peltier has added about 4 car lengths on Cole Raz, and in Raz's point of view, Taylor Riddle, who got around Gomez, is right there starting to threaten for second.
Yeah, Riddle has a very good long-run car. He's almost might in the next lap or two, if he's able to keep this momentum, get around the 63 at Cole Raz. As like I said, we've seen Taylor Riddle. He's won the showdown. He's won, I believe, a fall classic at his old home track at Yakima Speedway. He has definitely been in the winner's circle all throughout the Northwest, as he just changes line again, trying every which way to get around the 63.
It's weird that he's changing his line so much, though. That hurts consistency.
It definitely does, yes. It's very hard to be consistent on this track. You want to be smooth. I've been told that by many, many drivers around the Northwest. Be smooth.
And you can see on his race car, especially coming off of Ford, maybe one of the reasons that it is a little inconsistent, that front end is wiggling on him. It swam pretty significantly coming off the 4th corner that time by. Let's see if it does it again, as in and behind him, I think Hayden Plybon's starting to put some good laps together.
Yeah, Plybon, we haven't talked about him virtually the whole race, and now he cracked into the top 4 as well. Watch and see what happens with Riddle that time. Car looked pretty good coming off of 4 that time.
That was distinctly more stable than the last time around. Plybon in 4th, him and Raz have been joined at the hip as far as 1-2 finishes go around the Northwest this year. When Raz has run well, Plybon has almost been right there with him the whole time. And as impressive as Cole has been, Hayden has been right there as well, just looking for that big breakthrough.
Yes, Plybon has finished second many, many times in these big races. Hopefully this might be the one that he could break through and get that big check, as the 15 of Riddle goes way below the white line, kicks up some dust. And that worked out for him that time, but just scrubbed a little too much speed coming off the corner.
He's still got a really good run, though, especially considering that Raz is just a half groove up getting into turn number 3.
So down through 3 and 4, yeah, that's going to be a close one. You know, one thing that's really nice about this 5/8 track is if you do have a tighter car and you can get your car below the white line, those bumps can make your car loose, and you can get it to rotate a little bit too.
Interesting. From a point of view of getting the car to rotate via bumps at the speeds that they're running, it's got to be a bit of an unnerving feeling.
Yes, but you know what? You don't even notice it at that point.
You're a race car driver, man. It's whatever you got to do to go forward. Well, right now, Cole Raz in the 63 with the big old door numbers trying to hold off the 15 of Taylor Riddle. And it's huge here because Raz wants to start right up on Peltier coming up after the break. He does not want to have to fight his way back by Riddle in order to do it.
Yeah, you do not want to be a row behind if you don't have to, because that could make or break your race. Because Riddle is definitely might be looking to do that as we got 4 laps to go until our break.
So the break is coming. It's coming rapidly here. Peltier is gone out of this screen, but the battle is for second, and it's for that starting row next to Peltier coming up after this break. Cole Raz with 4 laps to go, and Taylor Riddle has found rhythm in the 15 car. He is all over him like flies on honey coming off the 4th turn.
Yeah, three this time by for Riddle and Raz, as he just has a really good run through as you go through the middle of 1 and 2. But unfortunately, he's just scrubbing a little bit too much speed because he unfortunately can't get that run off versus what the 63 at Cole Raz has.
Yeah, Riddle's also in a unique place. You don't really want to risk the race car right here at this point in time. You can't afford to make a physical move and possibly wipe out 2 cars coming into the break.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. Yeah, as we got 2 more laps to go, they'll put a lap down on the 22 of John Lathrop Jr. in his Lakes Auto Body late model car.
It just needs the number 7, right?
It does.
That's all that's missing.
You know, maybe the next time I see him, I'll ask him if he could put a 7 on the side.
That would be great for all of us. Meanwhile, 2nd and 3rd coming up to him. Peltier has added some distance. Look out. That got scary. You're right.
Yeah, that's second time. Oh.
Yeah, and you saw some smoke showing there, too.
I think he was running over the track drive from the Garrett Evans crash.
Okay.
Because I thought the same thing.
Yeah, if he was putting down fluid there, that's scary. Somebody's going to wipe themselves out into it. But at this point, we'd have already had a caution flag for it. So, all right, Raz hanging on. And we are to break. So that caution flag right there puts us 75 laps in and 75 to go. The teams will go to the middle, swap tires, make adjustments, and more. And we will come back with more of the Summer Showdown here on KSDW on Home. Well, we are through the break here on Home Track Heroes for our Summer Showdown, 150 laps of the Super Late Models, 75 in, 75 to go. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. Teams have put on fresh tires. They've made adjustments, and they will roll to the green flag. Preston Peltier on the outside is your race leader. Cole Raz, the 63, on his inside, looking for something big here on the restart, but it doesn't look like it's home.
No, at this point, the 48 of Peltier is going to have a really good run coming off of turn 2. Look at Plybon now, looking to get into that podium spot, able to get by Taylor Riddle as they go into turn 3.
Riddle was looking so strong before the break, but these double foul restarts can change so much. Now Riddle fighting back down on the low side, but Plybon has got it and secures the spot going into turn number 1.
As Gomez, who was running in second for most of this race, fighting just to stay in the 5th position now, as Riddle was looking to try to get by to crack into the top 5. Look at Cole Raz now with the burst of speed going in turn 3.
Cole Raz feeling froggy. Peltier says, you feel froggy? Come on, jump. Works to the inside, coming off the corner. Can he get there? Almost to the rear quarter panel. Can't quite get inside of him going into 1.
He was definitely looking, and that definitely messed up a little bit of the momentum he had going in because he was a couple lanes lower looking to pass Peltier as they go into turn 3. As Peltier not leaving the 63 of Raz. This is probably one of the fastest lap times we will see of the main event tonight because they are on fresh tires. At the beginning of this race, they were on 25 lap old tires.
We are 78 laps into this, so about 3 laps of speed on the new tire, and now Peltier finally gets away from Plybon a little bit. Sorry, not Plybon, Raz.
Yeah, those 3 laps of finally getting the correct heat in those tires, and yeah, probably by lap 80, whatever top speeds they had left are probably going to be gone at that point.
So there it is, Peltier, Raz, keeping him close. Let's see how long he can keep him close for. And Plybon in the 3rd spot, racing here at Evergreen Speedway and the Summer Showdown. Brought to you by Busch Beer, the official beer of NASCAR and Evergreen Speedway. Busch Beer, the sound of refreshment. Crisp and cold as Mountain Stream. Keep your fridge happy by stocking it with Busch and Busch Light. Busch. That's as easy, that's as quiet and calm as Peltier is rolling into the corner. Just like the sound of Busch.
Yeah, making it look very easy. As 55 of Plybon, who was sitting 4th quite a bit during this race, has moved up into 3rd. Riddle, that that change with the tires hindered his car. It might have got it tight, and like what we saw towards the end of before we ended the segment where it was loose.
So you got to figure that during this break they're adding fuel, right?
Yep.
Okay, so all of that extra fuel, all that extra poundage on the back of the car that had burned off before is definitely going to tighten that race car up.
Yes, it will.
On top of the new tires.
It will definitely tighten. So there's so many different factors. New tires will tighten up the track. Fuel will tighten up the car. And now the colder weather will tighten up the car as well. And the other thing would be all the laps on the track, and the tires are, or the track is rubbering up now, going to make it tight as well.
Absolutely. That's Klein in the 1, who's working down on the inside, and I think outside of him, Schroeder 17 in a battle for position.
And I believe that's for the 10th spot, if I'm not correct. No, that's actually higher, probably 7th or 8th. Has a great battle still. Probably one of the youngest drivers in the field fighting for the 6th or 7th spot, as it looks like a good battle behind him as well between Zach Reel and the 14 at Atwell.
Those two drivers duking it out as right outside your top 5, Klein in the 1 and the 17 of Schroeder. In fact, 7th and 8th right now officially where they're running for, as we're down to just 66 laps to go here in the showdown. Good battle side by side. At this point in time on fresh rubber, it's a big use of resources from Schroeder to have to run that middle groove for those couple of laps.
Yeah, and now the one car Klein will finally get by the 17 of Schroeder. Very, very long battles between both of them as they have raced for quite a while together. As the 63 maybe catching back the 48?
I was going to ask you, because you've seen more showdowns than I have at this point in time, and you saw Preston's big dominant win streak that he put together. In the few that I've seen, Preston hasn't seriously been challenged once he's got to the front. That Raz challenge was rare comparatively, right?
Yes, he normally, from what I can remember, when he would get to the lead, he would be gone. And this summer showdown that we've noticed so far, he's not really gone compared to what he has in the past.
Right, so that's, I don't know if that's more of a statement on Peltier being a little off from where he is, or just the quality of Cole Raz right now, because Raz looked like he's had a very strong race car.
Yeah, and the other thing is the 48 of Peltier might be holding back a little bit too.
Could be.
This, like what we mentioned at the beginning of the race, this is only 150 laps, not 200 from what they had before. So he might be thinking there might be a couple more cautions because this is more of a sprint and people are going to be driving a little more aggressive, so he wants to have maybe something left at the end.
An extra little burst for a restart if necessary.
Yes.
Because those starts and restarts, you're artificially giving that second place car all of that track position left next to him. Could very well be that if he can lead this race while running at 95%, he's doing it.
Yeah, and as of right now, the 48 of Peltier is starting to pull away just little by little. The 63 will catch up a little bit, and then he'll go away again. So I'm thinking that the 48 of Peltier is just kind of maybe even playing a little bit of a game, too.
Well, you mentioned how hard it is to be consistent on the 5.8s.
Yes.
And Cole Raz, for all of his talent, he doesn't have a ton of laps here on the 5.8s. He's got some, but not nearly as many as Preston. When we come back, we will get more racing in. It's the Summer Showdown here on Home Track Heroes. We're so glad you're tuned in to all of our racing here on KSTW. Well, you are live in car with Cole Raz here on Home Track Heroes on the left-hand side of your screen as he is cutting and weaving his way through slower traffic. Raz, our second-place runner in the 63. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. And interesting view from the cockpit at the moment.
Look at all those lap cars they're having to get through. The 7 of Dawson Cox and the 14 of Michael Atwell side by side in front of your leaders. We'll see if the 63 of Cole Raz can pounce, as now the 7 of Cox will move out of the way and let the 48 go by in the 63. And the 55 now has caught up to our leaders as well.
That's really let Raz keep Peltier in close distance here in the late stages of this, as we're down to 32 to go, and it's something that we had talked about in the last segment. Usually Peltier is checked out and gone. That traffic plus the strength of Cole Raz has kept this race interesting.
That looked like a threat to maybe pass the 48 of Peltier, as it looks like now he is gone. So those lap cars definitely hindered him at one point, but now has definitely helped him out.
Interesting enough, like once he got clear of them, it's like he turned on the turbos and gone, right? He has stretched that, and he has stretched it in a hurry here over Raz in the 63. I think he might have been feeling a little bit of pressure and said, okay, 30 laps to go, let's go.
Yep, whatever he has left, he's going to use it now, as the 55 of Plybon still trying to get through that traffic. The C's didn't part for Plybon like it did the 48 and the 63. had a little more work cut out for him.
Well, you're in an interesting spot here as well. I mean, these drivers are running for money positions within the showdown. They've lapped a decent amount of cars right here. Spots are worth different amounts of money. You want to race for within that spot and for the position, so it's kind of a hard thing to just give up the ghost and let the leader go by when you're trying to get by the guy in front of you.
Yeah, one spot versus another is worth about $15,000. So
yeah,
between first and second.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
You definitely don't want to give that one up, as they're going to put the 22 of Lathrop down a lap once again as they got by the 7 of Zach Reel.
You know, funny enough, that was also a battle within the top 10 that we were watching there as he got by Cox in the 7D. Is now Peltier is lapped up through 9th place here on this field with 29 laps to go on the Summer Showdown. Our Summer Showdown, and of course, Late Model Racing here at Evergreen Speedway, brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet. Visit Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe for customized trucks, lifted trucks, work trucks, and Speedway Chevrolet can locate the truck that fits you best. Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center also wants your trade and will buy or consign your vehicle or RV. Take the hassle out of selling it on your own. Speedway Chevrolet.
So yeah, when you have a big group of cars like that, and they're lead lap cars, if you're in that group and you're a lead lap car, it's definitely going to be hard to try to let the leaders go through you because, yeah, you're racing within your own race.
Depending on where you are, if they're coming over, like throwing that blue and yellow flag, which is depending on how you want to interpret it, the hold your line or the move over flag, I might be flying a singular finger at the flagman at that point in time and say, I'm 9th in the Summer Showdown. I'm racing, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult decision to make, and it's also very situational, too, with what everything, and like with that whole group that they got up to. I mean, that was pretty much 7th through 14th. So it was definitely making it hard, and I believe that's a battle for 9th?
Yeah, that's Gomez, actually, and he was right on the outside of the top 5, maybe even in 5th. So let's check and see as it updates for us. Gomez was 5th on the last time by, and I think he might have just snuck 4th away from whoever that was that he was passing. Trying to get a number on it. It's
that was the 89 to 1, and I just saw he was, I think, 11th.
So maybe that was just getting by a slower car at that point in time.
Very well could be. I'll watch and see what happens when the ticker comes by.
So your leader is Peltier in the 48. Peltier down the middle of the back straightaway has stretched to a half straightaway advantage over Cole Raz in the 63. Meanwhile, that is Gomez's 22 and
putting 89 down another lap.
89 down a lap is what we're looking at there. So Gomez, who you saw fight in the race car before the break, having a little bit of better handle here in the later runs as he works his way into turn number 1. You can see some sparkage coming off that car as it's lighting up our rapidly dimming evening here at Evergreen Speedway.
Yeah, this track is, when it gets a little dark, it's so big and it's so hard to light. There are some dark spots, so it makes it a little bit difficult to see the car in front of you, especially when you go into turn 3 when it's dark like that, as it looks like they're going to put down another lap on the 69 of Xandar Peters, and we got trouble. Dawson Cox out of power.
Can he get into the pit area? And no caution here. We're 22 laps to go. Cox noses it in. So long as he didn't put any fluid down, we'll stay clean and green.
Yep, so we are green thus far. Doesn't look like he has any hindrance to anyone else on the racetrack, as they will get by Max Schroeder on the outside. Schroeder going way out wide, making Preston go out higher than he probably wanted to at that point.
Yeah, I was going to say, that wall got awfully close for Preston Peltier there for a second. Max Schroeder knocking on the door of top 5 car as well, going down a lap. And again, there's Raz. He is just not letting Preston get overly comfortable. The 7th place car of Schroeder now down a lap. So Peltier still strong, still a lot of speed, but not enough to where he can make a major error and get away with it because Cole Raz is there.
Yeah, definitely not a lot of room to play with for the 48 of Peltier, because he's just close enough to maybe have something left for the 48 of Peltier, that 63 Raz that is, as it looks like they're going to put another lap on the 88 of Jason Gilbert out of Colorado. And yep, the 17 all kind of clear by himself. This is definitely a good time of the race where you can get some laps in, trying to find another line to see if you can make your car a little bit better.
So it's Peltier and Raz 1 and 2, and boy, Cole Raz is just close enough to make this interesting here in the waning laps. We're down to 18 to go on this 150 lap feature. Sticking her downstairs and putting a lap on that car. And there goes Cole right to the inside, not getting hung up. Doesn't doing everything he needs to do in case Preston makes a mistake.
So every time the 48 has to get by a lap car, Cole will close in like a car length or two, and then when he has clean air in front of him, he loses that 2 to 3 car lengths.
I wonder how much better Peltier's car is handling in clean air as opposed to how much better Raz's car is handling in dirty air.
That's what I was wondering too, because when he gets in front of a car, that's where I'm noticing that the 63 of Raz will catch up to him, as it looks like he has a little bit of trouble now trying to get by those 2 lap cars. Looks like the 48 of Holm and the 22 of Jonathan Lathrop, as
Boy,
that was close.
Okay, so let's take that theory that I just threw out there, Chad. You can see Preston's gotten clear, now he's opening it again, but I had seen Raz roll in. I don't know if it's that Raz's car is handling better in dirty air. I wonder if he's just driving it hard, because that car looked really loose coming off of turn 4 in and behind those 2 slower cars, but he got through them faster. I think Cole's just a little more willing to risk it amongst the slow cars.
That's what I'm guessing. I think he's just trying to use everything possible as we're riding around with the 55 of Hayden Plybond, as it looks like he will try to put Jonathan Lathrop down a lap sitting in that 3rd spot.
And hey, I mean, if that's the strategy you got to use, take it, right? You're close enough to Peltier to try to make something happen. Any advantage you can get, even if it does risk the race car a little bit, it's the Summer Showdown, man. You go for it.
Oh yeah, you got to try something. There is no points on the line. It is just $25,000, and that's a huge deal, especially for anybody.
It replaces a lot of race car parts if you heard them.
Oh yes, it does, and that could make or break a whole rest of your year.
Plybond, very smooth at this stage of the race. We haven't talked much about Hayden Plybond, but what a solid, easy run to 3rd he has had this afternoon, this evening.
Yeah, he sat pretty much top 5 in the first segment, and we didn't see him much, and now he's come on strong through the second half, as Riddle kind of went opposite of what Plybond had. He was good through the first half and struggling through the second half.
And you wonder, I mean, there's a lot you can do over that small portion of time during the break that we have at lap 75. You wonder if Riddle just pushed the wrong buttons on the brake in terms of setup.
And that could happen. It's been quite a few years since I've done the Summer Showdown, and I've had a good car in the first segment. We bolt tires on, think we made a good adjustment. Unfortunately, it didn't work, and that very well could have happened to the 15 of Riddle.
Well, it's one of the things that drivers have talked about over the past couple of years as well. These drivers are all on Hoosier Tire, the official tire of Evergreen Speedway, right? And at that point in time, the last couple of years, and specifically in the late model guys, they have said tire to tire, set to set, they feel some inconsistencies.
Yes, it is definitely, since COVID, the tires do feel a lot different now.
Right, and even within sets picked up at the same time, which all these drivers come in and do on Thursday of the showdown, you get your sets for the weekend, right? There can be differences within the same run of tire that chalk out the same, measure out the same once you get them blown up, just in the way they feel after X many laps.
Yes, I've had that issue, not necessarily with the Summer Showdown, but with the tire in general. You get the same tire that is the exact same size, and you put a heat cycle on it, it's an inch larger than the other tire.
And it's one of those things we have absolutely no control over, too. You talk to Hoosier, and I get some information from Hoosier the rest of the time. The process that they go through on making these tires is really tough. They're trying to build consistency in it for them, but at the same time, it's just part of the game that we're dealing with right now.
Tires are still man-made, every single individual tire. So, you know what? We're all human. There's going to be human error.
That's right. Well, right now, Peltier's got the good set, clearly, as it's on the car. Raz and Plybond enjoying a really nice run as we're down to single-digit laps to go. 8 remaining here in this 150-lap feature, and we are watching Plybond closing up on the back of Tanner Holm, who's having a really, actually solid super late model showing here for Tanner.
Yeah, this is his first time out this year. We normally see him up at Deming Speedway, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Doing the 600s?
Yep, he's only been out a couple of times this season, but he's been very solid in the Open 600 division there. Got a lot of help this weekend from Tony Smith, getting the car put together and set up, and it sounds like we every once in a while we get a little ping on the radio channel, somebody just dropping us a nugget. Tanner says it's actually the best he's ever felt within the car as far as setup goes.
Good.
So, yeah, he is a happy camper with the progress they've made this weekend.
Good. So Peltier is gone with the Summer Showdown rules. He does not. For one, you don't want to see a yellow with all this money on the line. But Summer Showdown, the last 5 laps have to be done in the green flag condition.
Okay.
There will be no setup for a green-white checkered. It has to be 5 consecutive green flag laps.
Okay, so he has now hit the magic number of 5. And you can see Raz is faded back from him a little bit as he put another lap on Lathrop with a lap car in between them as well.
Looks like 2 lap cars in between.
Yep, so 2 lappers in between Raz and Peltier. Peltier's got a lot of speed. And Owen Riddle. Problems with the 10 car. That's been a top 5 car nearly all afternoon here.
You know, it looks like he might have got into the wall. There's something going on with the right front and right rear. Maybe brushed up against the backstretch wall because we clearly didn't see it, but
right.
Yeah, looks like his night is over.
Shuffle everybody else up a spot here in the Summer Showdown. So tough for Owen. He had a really good showing as he was running, I think, 6th at the time. Preston Peltier, Cole Raz, Hayden Plybon, 1 through 3, Taylor Riddle, and Jonathan Gomez. Been a pretty consistent top 5 for us here over the last, say, 50, 60 laps.
And then they'll put another lap on the 17 of Schroeder. I believe he now, since I think he might have moved up a spot as well, so he might be sitting in the 7th position. So yeah, definitely Peltier is the man to beat right now.
With 2 laps to go as he crosses over the white chalk stripe, Preston Peltier looking for Summer Showdown, what would be win number 5. He's got the win in 17, 18, 19, and 22 for Preston. Impressive run for him.
Definitely. A lot of money racked up between those 4. So he gets the white flag, longest lap of his career.
5/8 of a mile to go, and this is where you're trusting your guys that they tightened every nut on every bolt. Every rivet got in the way it's supposed to be, as you don't want something small coming to bring it to a close, but he's only a half a lap away. If he can get through the middle of the corner, you can probably coast there. And he has got it. Preston Peltier takes the checkered flag and crosses the line first here for the Summer Showdown. 2nd, Cole Raz coming across. 3rd to Hayden Plybon. Congratulations to those 3. What an excellent race for them. Let's go down to the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
You came from the back of the field, made your way all the way up into 3rd place. I'll earn you a little bit of an extra bonus. Unfortunately, you couldn't get into that 1st place position, which I know you really wanted. 3rd place, though. Solid performance, as always, out here at Evergreen Speedway.
Yeah, I was glad we kept the car in one piece again tonight, but car just got a little too tight across the center, and nothing we could do about it at that point, so just drove it as hard as I could and tried to get what we could get, so I'm glad we came home with the podium at least.
That 55 car has been fast, and you navigated traffic really well. How do you like this 5/8 oval here at Evergreen Speedway?
It's a fun track. It's definitely different. There's 2 different corners, but it takes a little bit to get used to and to try to figure it out, but I think we're finally getting it, so hopefully we can come back next year and do a little better.
And who would you like to thank for that podium car?
Just my whole crew, Kawuki Driver Development Program, Cascade Rain Gutters, Muffler Mart, Toyota Tri-Cities, Race Cows, and then just everybody who supports me, and then just all the fans for coming out.
Driver the number 55, 3rd place tonight, Hayden Plybon. Cole, truth be told, it was you and Peltier back and forth throughout this race. How's it feel racing with the most decorated Summer Showdown winner out here?
I mean, it was fun. I mean, I knew a couple weeks ago at the Galloway that's who we were going to be having to beat. So I feel like we made huge improvements from the Galloway. Just obviously wasn't enough. The 48 was on the program once again this year. So we've had a few fun battles this year at Tucson and Wenatchee. So it was fun to duel it out with him again, even though he was about, 10 or 12 on me there. But it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot. We just got to be better next time we come back here. And 2 firsts and a second ain't too bad on this new Port City Phase 2 car.
Now, I heard rumors you'll be back here on the 5/8 in August driving an ARCA car.
Yeah, we'll be making our ARCA debut next weekend at Shasta Speedway, and then coming out here August 19th. So make sure y'all are coming out here. We've been putting on a hell of a show once again. So big thank you to Apache Drone Groups for coming on board for this weekend. Destined for Destruction, Wells Johnson, the Master Wrench, Town Buick GMC, Ernest Performance, my entire family that's put a lot of work into this weekend, my whole entire crew. Port City Race Cars, Gary Crooks for coming out, and the entire Rapensky family for letting me run this beautiful race car.
Still one of the hottest drivers out here in the West, Cole Raz, 2nd place tonight.
Well, you noticed we only interviewed 2nd and 3rd there, and that's because 2nd and 3rd are now 1st and 2nd. Preston Peltier did not pass technical inspection at the end of the race. Cole Raz is your Summer Showdown winner. Hayden Plybon is 2nd, and Taylor Riddle is third, and that is how we end Summer Showdown 2023. What a ride it was, Chad.
That was definitely a fun ride.
It was. Well, what a couple of weeks it was here at the Showdown. A big thank you to everybody involved. Don't forget, we got more Home Track Heroes coming up next week. Sprint cars on the program, Super Stock Figure 8s, Stingers, Hornets, and Youth Hornets all on the show. That's next Sunday night. Next time you can come to Evergreen Speedway. Formula Drift, Friday and Saturday. The pros are coming out. It's going to be a good time. You're not going to want to miss it. And, Chad, ARCA here Saturday on the 19th on the big track. Final 5/8 of the year. Should be a blast. Thank you so much for co-hosting today. Thank you guys all for tuning in for the Home Track Heroes staff. For Derek, for Chad, my name is Caleb Hart. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday here on KSTW for Home Track Heroes.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.